There's no doubt that the seeing of non-duality, even a split second of awakening, or even being seized with an enthusiasm for non-duality on a mental and emotional level without really knowing why or what that is about, can produce in us a feeling of cut-offness from family and friends and acquaintances. I want to say that it can produce a feeling of loneliness, that cut-offness is a kind of loneliness, although there's a paradox here, because even a split second of awakening can bring an end to actual feelings of loneliness. Maybe it might be better to say that when we're seized by non-duality, it can produce a kind of feeling of alienation between us and family and friends. There are various reasons for this. The most obvious is that it's quite likely that in the falling of non-duality upon us, I'm finding it difficult to find an exact phrase to describe what might happen, but it's even simply in a kind of growing of a deep interest in non-duality, and certainly if there's been an awakening, we may lose interest in all sorts of things in life, which we may have been interested in before or even passionate about before. We may lose interest in things which before this had helped to define who we were as a person and had produced perhaps, maybe in some cases, deep connections with family or with friends, with lovers, with partners. I mean, there are some obvious examples. Perhaps we might have shared religious beliefs and religious ceremonies with our nearest and dearest, or a whole group of friends. We might have shared an enthusiasm for a particular spiritual path, for a particular guru. We might have shared an enthusiasm for and the practice of meditation techniques. Perhaps we might have gathered with a dear group of close friends in order to sit and listen to the swirling sounds of Tibetan singing bowls once a month. It's not that any of these things necessarily have to die when non-duality is seen, or when an enthusiasm for non-duality seizes us. We may still very much enjoy meditating to Tibetan singing bowls, our yoga practice, our Tai Chi, whatever it may be. But the problem is that although we may enjoy these practices now and many other things, it will probably be impossible for us to take them seriously anymore. We will probably simply experience these as the word that comes to me as pastimes, as pleasant activities. And if we have a group of people around us with whom we have perhaps for many years shared a kind of a passion, a shared belief in the importance of such things, perhaps a shared belief in some religious or metaphysical view of what life is about. Perhaps we have a group of friends who passionately believe, for example, that it is necessary to believe in the blood of the Lamb, Jesus Christ, in order to receive salvation. Seeing non-duality can produce a huge gulf suddenly of meaning and interpretation and interest between us and the people that perhaps we may dearly love, feel very close to, but can no longer see the stories which they live by as making any sense at all or having any sense at all. And so we can feel alienated from our friends and from our family. They can feel alienated from us. They can become very concerned about us. if our family or friends are of a secular turn of mind, they may feel that we are undergoing some kind of breakdown. They may feel an urge to recommend to us that we seek therapeutic or perhaps psychiatric help. And it's probably best to avoid this pressure from our family or friends. If our family or friends are committed to a religious story, a story of some kind of deep meaning in the purpose of the universe, they may feel that we have lost our faith, we've lost our belief, we've lost our way in life, and they may feel it very important that somehow they bring us back to what they see as a proper orientation to life. We may find that they have invited the local vicar or the local swami or the local guru or yogi around just to have a little pleasant conversation with us over a cup of tea as they try to work out, what terrible affliction has struck us down. So there are many reasons why a sudden or even a gradual opening to an awareness of the emptiness and fullness of everything, the non-existence of the part of the person. I nearly said the non-existence of the parson there, and indeed the parson, the vicar, and the curate, they all seem to us to suddenly not exist in any important way. It can be difficult. It can be difficult, particularly if it's our lover, our partner, our wife, our husband, with whom we've shared some kind of deep belief, and now there's a sense that that deep belief is no longer part of the glue that holds us together. I'm often contacted by individuals who are going through precisely this kind of phenomenon, this feeling of a loss of connection with people who are close to them, and who feel a disturbance about this, and yet also a powerlessness to do anything about this. After all, if we've seen through the stories of meaning, of religion, of spiritual gurus, of spiritual paths, if we've seen through that, then we have seen through that, and it becomes impossible either to find meaning in these stories again, or for most of us even to pretend that we still find meaning in these stories just to calm the anxieties of our friend or of the local vicar or parson who may be taking an interest in us. So all I can really say, I mean, I'm not here, and these videos are not being made to bring anyone comfort. There is really nothing in non-duality which in any conceivable way really can be seen as bringing comfort. But on the other hand, I am aware that this is a common experience. It's an experience that I have had, and it's an experience that I have been approached by many, many people over the years, in emails, in phone calls, and in person. And so while this isn't meant as comfort, on the other hand, it may be good to know that if you're going through something like this, you're not alone. It is simply one of the phenomena that occur because the seeing of non-duality, the being seized by an enthusiasm for non-duality, can bring about such a totally powerful reorientation of the one who seems to be a person but is not really a person. So if this has happened to you or is happening to you, then I wish you well. And if you have an opportunity to hang out with and talk to or communicate with others who share this enthusiasm for non-duality, then that is a very, very healthy thing to do.